Good morning, lovely friends all over the world. How are you all today? I hope you're well. So, I don't know how it happened, but apparently it's June. Where has the time gone this year? It feels like 5 minutes ago that I did the tour and it was snowing. So, it's the beginning of June. I'm going to go out in a second and show you around the garden and see where it's at. Now, I have to say, it's not where it's been at in previous years for the beginning of June. I was actually looking back at my June video from last year and but pretty much everything is planted, and so now it's a case of it's in the lap of the weather gods. The weather has been really weird. We've had a very, very hot May. Not very hot in terms of, it's not been 30 degrees, but hot for us for May. And we've had a couple of days of absolutely cracking thunder and lightning storms and rain, and then we're back to high heat and humidity the next day. And today it's gone cloudy again, so I'm in a sweater. And actually, just very quickly on the rain thing, so as you saw my last video, I had a day in the shed because of the rain. And I was laughing about it and saying, I enjoyed the sound of the rain. But then yesterday I saw Cliff's garden, Cliff from Castle Hill. Oh, Cliff, I'm so sorry. He basically had a flash flood and his garden was under it looked like a couple of feet of water. Horrible. It looks like the water's receded quite quickly, and so he's been able to save the majority of the garden. I think it's going to be a case of he's going to have to hose everything off because there's that horrible sludge that flood water brings with it. Anyway, so, excuse me, Cliff, I hope you get back on your garden feet ASAP. So, on a rather dull, overcast day, where things don't look like they normally would at this time of year, let's go and have a look in the garden. And I'll just say very quickly, I've literally just arrived, dumped my bags, cuddled all the cats. I haven't had a proper look at the garden this morning, so if there've been some more overnight losses, we're going to find out about it together at the same time right now. Come on. Just before I do go down to the garden, it's a little bit breezy today. This beautiful elderflower tree just behind my shed, I'm going to get up there in a minute to start harvesting some of the gorgeous elderflowers, because I'm going to have a go at making my own elderflower champagne. Yay! I really wanted to last year, but I was trying to free cycle all the kit, and I didn't manage to get most of it until basically most of the flowers had gone over. So I do have kit now, and the flowers haven't gone over, so I shall be doing a pick as soon as we've finished having a little look around the garden. I'll be doing a pick from that. Can you see it over my shoulder there? Yay! I should be doing a pick from that tree, climbing up on my shed roof, and the video for that won't come out for it'll be about 10 days or so, just because I need to give it time to ferment, obviously. But just kicking back mulch. But yes, I will do the pick today, get that underway, and show it to you as soon as I can. So in about 10 days' time. Right, we're at the top of the garden. Let's have a little look. Oopsie, sorry. So, flowers this year are a bit of a disaster. So the stock has almost gone over now, and it's just going to seed, so I'll gather some seed. But look, these are my only cosmos. 1, 2, that's all that came up and came to fruition. I mean, the great thing about cosmos is they do get big and blousy, so hopefully it'll fill out a bit of this space, because otherwise it's going to look a bit sad this year for lack of flowers. The lily, though, is going great guns. It's getting bigger and bigger by the day, and look, little buds. So previously, in most years, this flower's it's usually about a week after my birthday, so about the middle of July. I'm wondering if it'll be later this year, because it didn't even show its head out of the ground for, oh gosh, it was about 4 weeks late coming out of the ground. So I'm hoping about middle of July that'll come out. And then look, one little self-seeded cornflower from last year's lot. I saved a load of seeds, I sowed them, nothing. I should have just chucked them in the soil, shouldn't I? But such a pretty colour. I mean, I prefer the real blue cornflower, but basically blues and purples, I love them. So I'm very happy to see that little one popping its head up. Yay, and there's a few more to come. Brilliant. Right, let's get on with the main show, the veggies. So the white onions, they're looking absolutely splendid. I've noticed they're starting to fatten up. I don't know if you can get a sense of that down there, but yeah, they're definitely starting to fatten up. Unfortunately, I think I had one that threw up a scape, sort of a flower stalk, so I nipped that out straight away, so hopefully that's rescued it. But the others, I think I have been watering them, so hopefully that's helped to stop them from bolting, because I know a lot of people's onions have bolted this year. Ooh, tricky year. Now, the leeks and carrots. Can you make out in there? Maybe if I get right up close to the mesh. There we go. That's the leeks that were some leftover from Gary that he gave me, and they seem perfectly happy in there. But you may also notice not a sign of a single carrot seed coming up. Not a single one. So that's had 2 sowings and nothing showing. And I'm keeping it nice and moist in there, but nada. So I have got a little bit of seed left, and I'm thinking, well, what the heck, I'll do a 3rd sowing and then that'll be it. There comes a point where I just run out of seeds, so I might like to do a 3rd or 4th or 5th sowing or something, but I can't because I've got no seed. Red onions, they're also looking okay. The red onions always seem to be a little bit slower than the whites, but they'll get there eventually. Hello, Poppy. You're going to have to wait for some attention. We're in the middle of the tour, Poppy. So yeah, I'm happy with those so far. I'm also happy to see that finally the flint corn is starting to green up and grow. This has been in for about 3 weeks, and it looked so yellow and spindly and pathetic. I was getting really concerned about this too, but it looks like it's holding its own. I have, even though I put all the chopped up field beans in there to add nitrogen, I have actually given it about 3 feeds, or I've been feeding it about once a week just with some dilute urine just to help it along, and I think that has helped. And then here, these 4 here are the direct sowings that came up. Those didn't, so I've plugged them with spares. So I think, yeah, you know, direct sowing works, it works fine. The only problem with direct sowing is that, what I might try next year, put it this way, is direct sow everything, but sow a load of backups as well, because by the time they actually come up, or don't come up, as it were, it's too late to then resow. So I think, yes, about half the direct sowings have come up, great, but I wouldn't want to just rely on direct sowings, because, yeah, like I say, by the time they come up, if they don't come up, you're stuffed. It's like disaster zone, this bed. So that's the celeriac at the top of the bed, looking much more pathetic than in previous years. Well, last year. I had some really beautiful, healthy, sturdy plants, about the same number again. Brought them down to start hardening them off, and they got completely fried to death in the cold frame. So these are the dregs, but hopefully they'll pick up. And the celery, wow, these are so pathetic. Can you even see that? So this and this, they're not my usual variety of celery. These were some spare seedlings from a friend. I pricked these out from her tray at the same time she pricked these out. Look at the difference. I mean, it's just crazy. It has, I mean, I've been racking my brains as to why some things aren't working, and there have been thoughts that, you know, is the water in my water butt contaminated? I don't know. I can't think of reasons for why things that I've got going perfectly well then have just become stunted or even died. And then of course there's the slug damage to contend with as well. However, I've got a couple of plants there that are looking all right, so fingers crossed. And I think, you know, now that everything's in, it does tend to be that once they get in the ground, things get happier and get away. I mean, the flint corn's the perfect example of that now. It's looking much, much happier. So the vine bed. Now this has been a tricky one for this year. But look at all these lovely tomato plants. Gorgeous, and a lovely poppy. Beautiful. I won't even go through the names of them all now. I might just do that separately. Real mixture in there. But thank you to my plot friends and neighbours for donating their spares, and a few more in here. So I've still got a gap here where I could sow, or should I say plant, a load more. And actually I'll show you those in a minute because they're over on the deck. The ones that I was trying to bring on at home, I thought, right, stuff it, I'll bring you to the allotment. You can sit out in the sunshine, the fresh air and the rain and grow. And they have done a little teeny bit. I don't know if they'll get big enough to come to fruition. If they don't, I could always nick side shoots from these and pop those in. But yeah, fingers crossed I'll have some of my own too. This is the butternut squash have all gone in. Again, they're looking a little bit sad at this stage, but I found in previous years that when I've put the squash in, this is the Rouge Vif de Tombe, the big Cinderella ones, that for the first few days they do look pretty miserable. Then they get themselves going, hopefully. Fortunately, none of these have been attacked by slugs, unlike what's been going on over here next to them. So yeah, I'm remaining optimistic that I will have some squash from here at least. Okay, so this is, well, it's supposed to be the cucumbers and peppers. These aren't cucumbers, these are baby butternuts. More baby butternuts, more baby butternuts, because this is what I'm finding every day. A cucumber eaten. The next one eaten. So I've got about 4 cucumbers left. I had 20 beautiful, healthy, sturdy plants, and that's all that's left. Likewise, similarly with the peppers, same sort of thing is happening. Some of these are just about surviving, but look, they went sort of white and cold. I don't know what's wrong with them. Oh yeah, I've lost another one by the looks of it. Oh, goodness me. So I've got 2 survivors or 3 survivors on the end there by the looks of it. It's really hard to know what to think and what to feel, because again, I had 40 beautiful plants, really healthy, looking great. I brought them down here, had them on the deck for about a week and a bit. They were hardening off, they were still looking great. I went away for a couple of days, I didn't come to the garden. I came back and they were all dead and dying, and I just don't know why. So one of the reasons, you know, this isn't overthinking it, as someone suggested the other day. This is trying to work out what's gone wrong so that I make sure I don't do the same mistake next year. But honestly, I've racked my brain, and I just don't know. I just don't know what's gone wrong. So just hope these ones survive. And then we come to, yay, the cathedral bed. Actually, let me give you a shot from here. My vegetable cathedral. Woohoo! The broad beans have been absolutely fabulous. I'm still harvesting. Still a load in there to pick. I've been doing a big pick every couple of days or so. I have some of them fresh, but mostly they're going in the freezer. There's masses and masses still to come. Masses of them. Gorgeous. So I will try to get these picked. Oh, in the next, over the next week, I'll get the rest of them picked. Then I will chop the foliage down, and in there will go the Coco de Paimpol, the French bean that I do for having demi-sec. Yay, can't wait. But let's go through the arch. And as we go, I do love my little arch walkways now, flanked either side by climbing beans. Well, that's the idea. Again, another bit of a blinking disaster. So as you saw in the video when I was planting there, I was planting 2 per cane, and then I had backups in the cold frame. Oh my goodness, hardly any of them came up, so thank goodness for the backups. And then what did come up was being scoffed by the pesky slugs. It's been a really bad year for slugs so far. But so most of these are in now are the backups that I sowed, and I've actually just done another sowing of backups in pots to try and get them going in pots, and then they can come into the ground. But you can kind of get the idea now, can't you, of how I would like this to be. A lovely lush green corridor to walk through. Let us walk through it. It's so funny. So many of my neighbours, when they come to visit me on the plot, they have to have a little walk through the frames. Everyone seems to enjoy it. And of course now they have their eye safety features. That's some Baby Bell cover. And whoops, just tripping, never mind my eyes. Cotton reels held on with there's a bit more Baby Bell wax inside it to hold it on there. So hopefully no one's going to poke their eye out. This was the bed I was trying to get planted up and sown during that naughty storm. It is now all... Oh, look, there's another bottle out. What is it with these foxes pulling my bottles out? So now each branch has a squash sown with it. There are 6 little beds here, 6 different varieties of squash. So I've got Sucrine du Berry here, and then some Carnival, and some baby butternuts. And then over there's some honey nut, and then, can't remember what's in that bed, Galeux, I think. And then in this bed, some Violina. And then they're all underplanted as well with, for instance, this one has lentils. Just going back over here, this one has chard. Some of them are starting to poke up. And then for the edge of each little bed, just the very edges here, next to sort of the path, they're also sown with calendula. So I'm hoping this will make a really pretty little sort of semi-parterre as things come up. Oh, the signs of life. Calendula coming up. And, oh, it looks like, you see the first of the spinach is coming up. Wow, that's quick. I only sowed that about 4 days ago. Oh, and look, a random field bean that obviously didn't germinate last October is coming up. So far, I've just spotted one. I was going to say, so far, the squash in here, they're looking okay. Not so okay. That one, oh, you can see. Look where it's been nibbled right across the stem. Phooey. Have I got something spare to put in? I don't think I've got any spares of anything anymore. So this bed is underplanted with beetroot and again edged with calendula. Yay! I'm so happy to see them coming up. I really want loads of calendula this year and it looks like I'm going to get it. The thing with these beds is I sort of sowed in straight lines the underplanting, but I don't know if you can make that out. It's been scratted up. So I've stuck to one variety of thing to underplant with, specifically because I thought these beds might get scratted up a bit. So if something comes up that is not beetroot, I'll know it's a weed, so I'll pull it out. Oh, look, these are sprouting over here too. This is lettuce. This is the red Rubens lettuce. Can you see that's just coming? Oh, brilliant. I don't know if you will be able to see that. Oh, I'm so happy to actually have things coming up, because like I say, it's been a bit of a harem scarum year about what is going to work and what's not going to work. So spinach is coming up, no sign of lentils coming up yet, but I don't expect that. Should we walk through another arch? Shall we? Oh look, Poppy's showing us the way. Shall we come through here? On this side I've got the gigantes beans. And look, compared to... Okay, on this side we've got the Soissons. Look, teeny tiny. That's another backup in a pot. Only one of the direct zone ones came up. I planted 50 Soissons. I've got 10. Ugh. But over here, the gigantes are ding, 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 all the way up to here already. And it makes me think, because the germination, this is my saved seed from my harvest last year. The germination has been great. They seem to have had less attack than some of the other beans. This is the thing about when you've had your garden for 2 or 3 years, you can work out what basically grows well for you and what doesn't. You know, some years are fluke years, so don't give up. But if after 2 or 3 years with a particular variety it's not working for you, have a think about a change. And my thoughts are that in future I'll grow far more of the gigantes, because they just seem to do well for me here. So going through our little archway, look with all the little Soissons that are really struggling. Oh, slug attacks. Never mind. We have all got to the stage now where we're putting pellets out, but mostly it's the oh look, another eye protector. Mostly it's the, you know, it's the ones that are classified organic. This bed is really struggling. Oh, really struggling. Let me just come down here. So if you remember, I think it's like 3-4 weeks ago I planted the parsnips and calendula. I think I've got 2 teeny tiny parsnips showing, and I don't know if I've got any more seed. If I've got more seed, I'll put it in. If I haven't, I might just put a load of chard in here, because I have got some chard left over and it's great as an autumn and winter green. The chickpeas, hardly any came up. So what I did yesterday, let's just have a little look at it, because it's such a beautiful little plant coming up. Oh, they're beautiful. Yeah, there were hardly any, as you can see. So I've re-sowed, but rather than just sticking the chickpeas in like I normally do, I soaked them the night before, gave them a really good soaking, because we have been quite dry. So I was thinking, well, if I soak them first and then plant them and then keep them well watered, hopefully that'd be enough to have them come along. The Roquencourt, right, they came up quite well. So there's a couple of gaps, and you can see yesterday I've just replugged or resown those couple of gaps. But yeah, they've come up quite well. I'm pleased with that. Then the lovely Calypso that I wanted to try, that says easy to grow, fun to harvest. 2. I must have sown 6 or 7 in each row, so somewhere between 24 and anyway between 24 and 30 seeds sown, 2 plants to show for it. So I've resown this now, but I've resown it with Roquencourt, because I don't want to have any more disasters this year. I want to go back to something reliable, which the Roquencourt are. And I'll try the Calypso again next year somewhere. I might actually try by starting them off in pots in the cold frame, like some of my other beans, because that seems to have worked. Then here, hurrah, fennel. Oh, I'm going to get really bashed now, because Poppy, get you. Oh, hang on, I'm going to cuddle her with one hand and point the camera with my left. But you can see how, oh, again, it's such a beautiful little plant to grow. I say little, it will get big. Poppy, is that how I lose my sticks? Have I been blaming the foxes and it's you having a little rub all along? But yes, I'm delighted to see the fennel up. That was sown. Again, that was sown about 3 weeks ago. So I've now, over here, just on a second sowing. Oh, I do love my fennel. Potatoes are all looking absolutely fine and dandy. Well, the main crops are. The new potatoes, oh, they've been pecked to smithereens by pigeons. I've never known pigeons attack my potatoes before. So there's a few gaps. Hopefully something's happening under there. There was something happening before I earthed up, but yeah, fingers crossed. I'm not too worried about the new potatoes. They're lovely, but I don't really grow them for sort of storing. That's what the main crops are for, and they look absolutely perfectly healthy and fine. In fact, some of them are just starting to flower. And then here, this is a load more climbing beans I've sown. Some boloshi and some runner beans. I like my runner beans for the beans to freeze, not for the eating of the green pods. So hopefully they'll all pop up, and then I can plug the gaps that I've got amongst the arches. 4 rows of arches, and I think I've got about 6 holes to fill. So that lot should do it. The cold frame is now empty. I was going to just... Poppy! Oh, she's so funny. I was just going to say the cold frame is now empty. Apart from I'm growing a cat. Oh, she really wants a cuddle, doesn't she? This is the second sowing of Cosmos. Look, it's not doing anything. It's ridiculous. Second sowings of Nicotiana and Echinacea. Not doing anything. We're going to have a cat cuddle again. Yeah, I give up. Give up with flowers this year. Well, the cold frame is now empty. The herb bed. Oh, everything's growing away beautifully. That little undersowing of calendula I did are popping up all over the place. Over there I've got some random sunflowers popping up from last year. But generally speaking, this bed is now sort of looking after itself. I've got some more planting to do, and then actually all these beans on top, this is all the Coco de Pampol. Everything's out of the cold frame now because the cold frame is just getting too hot. These are what's going to go in to replace the broad beans. When they do, I can start to think about making my little path in the middle. That little scabious, the division a friend gave me. Oh, flowering, it's so lovely. Beautiful colours. Absolutely gorgeous. It's long been one of my absolute favourite flowers, so I'm delighted to have it in the herb bed here. It looks very happy there, doesn't it? The little random strawberries that were on our share table. Ooh, I think I'm going to have that one later, yeah, before the slugs have it. But yeah, there's loads more to put in here as I get some seeds developed. And then finally, let me show you. This is my tomatoes. Actually, I'm just reaching for this Rose de Bern. You can see how it's... Oh, Poppy, goodness me. You can see how it is coming to life a bit. I mean, it just seems far too small to now have time to catch up, produce, and do all of that before the blight comes. But I remain optimistic. So I'm keeping it. I'm going to give it a go. This is my second sowing of brassicas in here. Again, looking really pathetic, but I thought get them out of the cold frame because it's getting too hot in there. I'll prick them out and hope they come to something. From the first lot I pricked out, I had them all over here, but the majority have been eaten. So, oh, what to do? Oh, and also, let me just show you over here with the vine. Loofahs I had to replant. They were all eaten. A cotch... Oh, no. Oh, phooey. That's my second Acacia. The first one got eaten, and it looks like that one's gone the same way. Do you know what I might do here? I've got a spare Gigantes. I might just put a Gigantes in there to go up the fence and cover the fence while the vine gets going this year. Oh, it's so annoying. But this is what's happening all the time. I plant something, I come back to the garden the next day, it's gone. Plant again, sow seed again, it's gone. Oh, fiddlesticks. Never mind. For the most part, I think the garden is starting to... Oh, well, it's starting to look like a garden again, isn't it? And I think, you know, even on a dull, overcast day like today, for me, I just find it beautiful. I'm so lucky to have this space. I'm so lucky to be able to grow my own food. Oh, it just fills me with joy every time, even when I'm seeing what the naughty critters have been doing. It just makes me so happy. And this site at the moment, I don't know why, but this site in particular is making me so happy. I love a neat path with an arch over it, and I'm picturing in a month's time the greenery that's going to be all over these poles. Yay, can't wait. So I think, yeah, all in all, I've got to be happy, and I am happy. You know, there have been losses, never mind. There will be gains, and I shall enjoy every single last one of the games. Now, it's time for me to say cheerio to you all, because there's a very important tennis match on very soon. I want to race off home to watch the tennis. So yes, from me, for now, it's cheerio. I hope your gardens are at least sort of here, if not much further down the line than mine. But wherever they're at, enjoy them. And let's thank our lucky stars every day that we've got some soil to play in. I'll see you all again really soon. In the meantime, take care everyone.